name's Dan Ingvars, and I founded the organisation that helped Australia make use of education big data. What we learned was you've got to have the right data, the right place, at the right time. When I came to America, I found a reading crisis that shocked me. 2/3 of kids being below level by 4th grade, four times as likely to drop out, and this figure hasn't changed in 10 years. The bottom line is kids don't practice their reading. Practice makes perfect. And for many reasons, we don't, sometimes it's devices. Who has struggles to get the kids off devices and onto TV? But what we do know, and the data tells us this very clearly, reading is foundational, and reading practice directly impacts learning outcomes. The kids who need it most benefit the most from reading. So, the ELA market is a multi-billion-dollar market, and there are many, many companies in this space. A lot of them doing a great job. So you'd think that there was one platform or one way for you to record all of the reading that kids are doing in this day of analytics, in this day of data. This is the technology, paper reading logs. They're tedious. The kids don't like them, neither do the parents. But it locks all of the data down and away and doesn't let you customize and personalize what kids do as one of the most common and important practices. What we do is we spend $100 million checking if you really read the book with quizzes. That's not motivational. What we need to do is motivate the kids to read more. We need to motivate them. So, what motivates people? Think of a fitness tracker, something that has goals, research-based goals. It has your peers. It has interactions, and it gives you nudges. What if we could create a reading fitness tracker? Introducing Moxie Reader. It's a game-based platform that gathers data on reading and motivates kids to read more. We use the camera to enable kids to track their reading simply by pointing the camera at a barcode or a cover or a page, and that gathers the data. We have a research-based personalised reading plan developed by Freddie Hibbert, who's the international expert on independent reading, and it tells you how much you need to read to succeed. Basically, follow this plan and you will improve at your reading. For the kids, all it is just a set of bars. So we can work with kids right down the spectrum. Then you've got to lay a social environment over that these days. Who's reading right now? Earning some points, working in teams, and having to write about the books. But don't forget the parents, because they need help to get their kids off the couch and in reading as well. So we can provide nudges and recommendations and other pieces like that. Do you realise that in the classrooms of the school around the United States, there's $6 billion worth of these things? And we create a digital layer over all of those and turn them into an electronic reading system. Why is that important? Because the market has been shifting. We've had core being taken over by supplemental. But have a look at the print. It's actually bigger now in terms of the area than it was back then. So digital's growing, sure. But if your kids are doing authentic reading as part of the curriculum, then you need to know what they're doing. We're revolutionising reading practice. We've been out getting 20% growth month on month. We've had 120 teachers reach into their pockets with a beta product to pay. We take a model that's like Newsella, make an easy entry point for teachers and use them as the advocates to upsell into schools B to T to B. Our schools product's just been released, and the teachers are doing that transition for us. There's an incumbent in the marketplace that's been around for a long time, is owned by private equity. We think we can take away a small amount of that market very quickly and demonstrate something, because we allow kids to read any book. We have teacher buy-in, we work in the classroom, and we have a new approach to comprehension. So don't take my word for it. These are unsolicited tweets and other things from people who've just come across our service. We haven't had to advertise it at all. We're currently in a phase with a product which we call Reading Practice Accountability that measures what you're reading, and are looking to build this comprehension service. But if you've got what you've been reading and when and how much you've understood it, then what you have is the reading analytics for the majority of the kids' reading that is done on print. And that allows you to have information on the $1 billion worth of sales of materials into schools as well. So comprehension through creation is, think of it like Kiora meets Goodreads, where the kids are able to create both the questions and the answers and end up in a dialogue with natural language processing to create insights for both the teachers, the schools, and for recommending what the kids should both read and what the schools could purchase. Our team has grit. I've already built and sold an edtech business. Gave my investors 3 times their return in money. And we have book data, development, and publishing experience on the team. Practice makes perfect. Reading practice impacts learning outcomes. So if you want to help kids read more, come and talk to me. Thank you.